guys, this is XCS Warzone coming at you today with exciting video. It is my Bloodthirster pre-paint showcase, so my assembly for my converted Bloodthirster showcase. So basically I've taken the Beastman Gorgon / Cygor kit and converted it to be my first of 3 Bloodthirsters. This one is a bit bigger and it's going to be a bit cooler because this one's going to be my proxy for Scarbrand if I wanted to use a Scarbrand, which is why he's got 2 axes. So yeah, I really like the way he's turned out. I can't wait to paint him, and I can't wait to have him as a centerpiece of my army. It is very exciting. It's taken me well over 2 months to assemble this and complete this, due to other commitments like my uni and train square and sleeping. But yeah, I'm very excited to have him finished. What will happen after I've talked about him a bit, I will put up a load of videos at the end to show him off. So I'll do like a 360 one, so you'll see all around the model, and I'll do a load of close-ups. But basically, I'll just kind of explain to you sort of all the bits and pieces I've used in the making of this. Let's move these back. So the main kit was the Beastman Gorgon kit, which comes with multiple different heads, loads of spares, and all sorts of goodies. So the head is formed from the Gorgon head, and then you have the options for which set of horns you put on. I just stacked the sort of cranial parts of the horn sort of pieces on top of each other, so the head came out a bit further, and then I took 2 sets of horns, these longer ones which curve, and then these short bullish ones, because I was modelling it sort of a combination between the traditional GW Bloodthirster and sort of the blood letters. So if you look at the blood letters, if it focused, they've got, you know, the big sets, the champions, or whatever you call them, of the blood letters, have the bigger set of horns, and they have a smaller set of horns, and they've got a lovely little tongue which sticks out. So I was kind of going for a more of a, you know, blood letter Bloodthirster combination. So, you know, I went for that, and then I've used Tyrannid, I think it was a Tyrannid Warrior Lash Whip, just to come out, because it fit quite nicely, and I thought, you know what, it will make it look cool. Use a spare sort of head plate for the from the Juggernaut kit from my Blood Crushers to stick on top, just a bit more armor plate. Got some Tyrannid sort of spikes sat on top, bit of Khorne emblem, little Khorne emblem just there hanging from his nose, a Stormcast shield which I've converted with, you know, another Khorne symbol and some more spiky bits. Then you've really got the sort of standard Gorgon body and legs. For the legs, I extended them. I cut them off at the knee, and then used some bits of sprue to help reattach them and bend them into this position. So I used one of the Stormcast prosecutors and sort of laid them on the ground, because I wanted that sort of conquering look and the impact I put with the base. Then I used a lot of green stuff to build it up and make this sort of the hooves fit in. Then I've used spare shields from the Chaos Warriors kit. These skulls and this sort of cod piece, as it were, are bits from the Gorgon kit. Then these sort of knee pads and greaves I'm using are from the Forge and the Morlefiend kit. And I've got the green stuff, some sort of ropes, and around by his arse, where is it? I have taken some casts of the, well, some moulds really, of some of the Chaos Knight bits, and then sort of made copies of it with green stuff and then just stuck them on. Then down here you've got a spare Chaos Warrior cloak sitting down protecting the ghoulies. Cut the tail off because the tail's too long and won't work for Bloodthirster, and then I thought, I was looking at the Bloodthirster model and they don't actually have a tail, they just have this sort of stump at the end, so I thought I'd keep that. Then you've got sort of the standard spine. I've used the wings from the Zombie Dragon kit, and then I use various Tyranid pieces to make them sort of like more spiky. Then for the armour plates for the arms, shoulder pads from the Morphine kit. These sort of bicep, tricep sort of protectors there they are sort of rear shields on rear armour plates on the Skull Cannon kit, which I've just taken off and stuck them on there. Then for this sort of forearm guard, I've used a bit from the Skaven Doom wheel and some plastic card to forge it together. Then on the other side, I've just used sort of the standard Beastman kit, putting together, but instead of having these facing that way, I've reversed them around, so they're a bit more sort of less in the way of wielding his axe. Then for this axe, sort of copied out the rough sort of layout of one of Scarbrand's weapons. I can't remember if it was Slaughter or Carnage, but I sketched out the shape of it, cut out of plastic card, made some more layers to it. And these chains here are spares from the Bloodcrusher kit. The woods I've used for the handles for both of the axes are from Goblin Town, the Hobbit starter set, which you got some scenery for Goblin Town in. I've just taken the support poles, and for this one I've melted it and bent it with a heat gun. Then I've taken Tyranid bits here, so I've got these sort of got the horns and the little talons sort of signify that the blade itself is sort of alive, because with Khorne's demon weapons, or for Scarbrand's weapons anyway, sort of his axes, twin axes, Slaughter and Carnage, are embodied with the spirits of embodied with the souls of two mighty demons he's defeated in combat. So I thought, I'll make it a bit more sort of alive, as it were. And this back piece is from the Morghast kit, because I've still got loads of spares of the blades from them. On the other side it's exactly the same. For the other axe, the big one, I've taken another pole from the Goblin Town bit. The axe head is comprised of two platforms from the Skull Cannons and Bloodthrones. So normally the Bloodthirsters would sit on this. Bloodthirsters, Bloodletters would sit on this, on the Bloodthrones or Skull Cannon. I didn't like that when I was assembling it, so I just sort of assembled the first one, sort of how I wanted to, and then for the I just took the bit from the second one, stuck them together. Then I've got a spare Bloodletter head on top, again to sort of signify the demon, and then I've used a spare bit from the Skull Cannon again, which is just a support for putting the Bloodthrone on. But of course I'm didn't build the Bloodthrone, so it's no use to me, so I stuck it on. Then sort of got some support struts just there on that bit there, which are from the sort of the Gorgon has an option to have like sort of brass knuckles. It's that bit cut in half and stuck on either side, basically. Yeah, and then the chest piece, the chest guard for the Bloodthirster, you've got bits from the Skaven Doom wheel, a Khorne symbol taken from the banner, which you get as an option for the Bloodletters, and then two back pieces from the Bloodthrone kit, and then some more Nid spikes sticking up through the holes in that. And I put some skulls that are being absorbed into the chest of the Bloodthirster itself, because I thought that would look quite cool. I've just realised, because some of it's still setting, I've just managed to squish some green stuff. But basically, that's a run through of everything I've used in this bit. My initial intention was to sort of go through it one by one, but then I started it and got a bit too far into it to start doing it sort of step by step. But my plan is, now I've done this one, to do it for the other two Bloodthirsters when I get around to doing them. But in terms of my future plans, it's going to be armies on parade, but I'll do a separate video for what I can for that. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to show you the photographs of it. Some of them will be just sort of stand away shots, sort of at this distance, so I can get the whole model in the picture, and then I'll rotate it at this distance. Then the rest of, then there'll be close-ups, and I'll do sort of a few size comparisons just to show you how big this monstrosity is. I think because it's a conversion, I think I'm going to call it the Scarbrand, the Bastard Bloodthirster of Khorne, because I think that sounds cool, and you know, I've sort of bastardized some kits to put it together. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.